Welcome to A Drink of Wisdom with Jay Wise and Nathan Drinkard. I'm your host, Cody Ward. Thanks for spending some of your time with us tonight. What's going on, guys?
Let's talk some sports, baby.
This is
A Drink of Wisdom.
Welcome to A Drink of Wisdom with Jay Wise and Nathan Drinkard. I'm your host, Cody Ward. Thanks for spending some of your time with us tonight. What's going on, guys? We staying clean and healthy? We feeling good?
Yep, feeling so good with all this NFL free agency news coming down.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, Drink?
Let's talk some sports, baby. Oh, hold on, fellas. This 713 number. I'll be with y'all right quick.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah, that'd be good. Show.
Yes, this is Nate Drink speaking. Yes, ma'am. I did. I put in an application for the general manager job.
Indeed.com.
Yeah. You got it? Okay. Oh, you want to know why? Well, I've been watching the news. I seen some turbulence going on in that office. So I figured I'd throw my hat in the ring. You say, what experience do I have? Well, I spent 1 year at McDonald's as a shift manager. And then I joined the Marine Corps after that. And while I was in the Marine Corps, I led hundreds of personnel. So I think good. Yes. Oh, my strengths. Well, I have a very good personality. I'm a hard worker, and I recognize talent when I see it. Yes. You say elaborate? Well, the reason I said that is because I recently seen what happened with DeAndre Hopkins, and before that, I seen what happened with Jadeveon Clowney, and I just figured it wasn't handled right. You mean it wasn't? Yeah. What? So why did you give me a call if I'm not eligible? What? I didn't know you had to spend at least 1 year on the Bill Belichick staff. This is bull. If I had known that, I would have just. Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, thank you. And you know what? I hope you're happy with your current general manager. You keep this up, you're gonna have to move the team to Mexico. I'm out. Bye. Yeah, whatever. All right, Cody. Go ahead, man. Sorry about that.
You would have been a great GM, Drink. I'd have been with you. Yeah. In episode 56, NFL free agency is here. Several quarterbacks have new homes. DeAndre Hopkins heads to Arizona. And we're going to tell you who's winning the offseason so far. But first, the big news out of the free agency period has been no other than Tom Brady. The six-time Super Bowl champion has finally called it quits New England after 20 seasons and is expected to head to Tampa Bay. Contract details are being finalized, but the deal is likely for at least 2 years and around $30 million a season. Brady will get some new weapons in Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and O.J. Howard, easily an upgrade from what he had last year in New England. So tell me this, Drink, how far can Tom Brady take the Bucs this upcoming season?
Oh, we got TBs at 12 going to TBs at Tampa Bay. Ain't been this excited since John Gruden was making the call. Listen, I think if you get some pieces on the secondary, because we got to fix that secondary, and you get another piece on that offensive line. I'm hearing in the winds we got Melvin Gordon, probably get signed as your number one back. All that come together. Hey, man, this is at least the NFC Championship. I'm tell you why. And I understand people going to say, oh, this sounds like the same bull crap we pulled with Cleveland last year. First of all, I don't know who we is, because on this show, we didn't pull that bull crap.
That's right.
That was the people you was talking to. So I don't know who we is. But here's the deal. Here's the downright deal. It's a difference. Baker Mayfield, Tom Brady, not equal. Freddie Kitchens, Bruce Arians, not equal. Running back wise, like I said, that is, Melvin Gordon come in, I have no problem. You get rid of those recyclables you had in the backfield last year. You bring in Melvin Gordon, get you another guy back there. Now your run game is automatically better. Offensive line, like I said, you need another piece. You bring in another tackle, maybe another guard. Just, Tom Brady, let's be real here. The dude got the mobility of a spare tire in your trunk. So you can't be messing around and trying to put him on the run, right? You need some guys back there that's going to get the job done with protecting him. You need Tom Brady to feel comfortable. I understand Jameis Winston wasn't the most mobile quarterback, but he was young enough to get the running like Bambi in the woods. You're not getting that out of Tom Brady, all right? He's a member of the AARP. We know this already. So let's knock it off with the holes in the offensive line. But then let's talk about what we do have. When we talk about that outside of the Cleveland Browns, the reason we were so excited about the Cleveland Browns was, oh, Jarvis Landry. Oh, yeah, they just got Odell Beckham, and then they got Njoku. Hold on. Wait a minute. Bring that back. Now, we over here with Tampa Bay now. You got Mike Evans, which you could say, some could say he's better than Odell. Some say Odell. I mean, you can go back and forth. Whatever argument you want to lay, I hear you out. And then when you talk about the number 2, Chris Godwin and Jarvis Landry, I think at this point in both guys' career, I would give it to Jarvis Landry by a smidge. But if Chris Godwin have another year like he just had, that conversation is dead too. That's a wrap. Go ahead and wrap it up, Chris Godwin, right? Then when you look at the tight end position, you had David Njoku for Cleveland. Now you got O.J. Howard. Let's be real here. We know O.J. Howard was underused last year. He was massively underused. You draft the guy high in the first round or whatnot, and listen, you didn't use him enough. You just, that was unacceptable. Now you got him. Let's use him more. You got a quarterback that can get the ball to him. That's unacceptable. The biggest piece to this whole thing is not what they did on offense. We need to see what they can do on the defense. We know the offense could be phenomenal, but the rush defense, which was number 1 in the NFL last year, they can stop the run, but they could not stop the pass. And I mean, they didn't come close to stopping the pass. It's only 32 teams, and your team was 30th. So there's only 2 teams that was worse, and we probably know who those 2 teams is. Come on. You got to be able to stop something. You got to be able to stop something through the air. This is a passing league. If you cannot stop the pass, you're going to have a hard time winning games. Yes, Tom Brady is the drip or the drip with the good sauce. I got it. But he can't. We seen it last year. Even with a good defense, you cannot put everything on his plate. And I think with Tom Brady, it's like this. Tom Brady has the same complex that LeBron James got in the NBA, where they're so great, you think you can go out there and give them anything you want to. So let me get a bunch of school supplies, throw it out there with them, and make it happen, buddy. Get us to the big game. Get us to the Super Bowl. Get us to the championship game. No. You need to get that secondary fixed. Now, as I look in the free agency landscape as of now, I do not really see some game changers out there. I do see some NFL talent, but I don't see guys that make me think like, oh, yeah, that's locked. That's signed, sealed, and delivered. Secondary and got extremely better. So I think Tampa Bay now, they would have to go to the draft and bring some pieces for that secondary. But to get back to the original question, Cody, if they get that secondary correct, if they get some guys back there in those corners and safety positions, front 7 is phenomenal. You get that back 4 right. You get protection for Tom Brady. He get a chance to throw that ball, and you sign Melvin Gordon as your number 1 back. It is no reason why this team shouldn't be in the NFC Championship game. And I would like to remind people of this. I'm loving this signing because not only did your worst team in the division just get so much better, now the Saints got to look over their shoulder. This might be it might fight with the NFC West as the best division in football. I mean, honestly, you see, well, I don't want to give away the rest of the show, but you see the moves that the other teams are making in this division to make this a product worth watching. So, yeah, I see Tom Brady, if we get those pieces, like I said correctly, yeah, NFC Championship. I'm not going to jump over the rail and say the Super Bowl quite yet. That's putting a little too much on TBZ. But, hey, avocado juice and all, holla at your boy. That's where they'll be at, NFC Championship.
That's some lofty expectations. Mine are lower. Just to let you know. There's a lot of ifs in that argument. If they fix the secondary, if they get an established running back, if they can buffer up that offensive line, because
But Melvin Gordon, he's close to finalize. Like he's close, but the rest of it is big ifs. You're right. Okay. But the Melvin Gordon piece, that's why I brought him up.
All right. At bare minimum, this acquisition does indeed make the NFC South more interesting, because now you have, as opposed to last year where the Saints, they ran away with the division. You had all three other teams in the NFC South were sub 500. Now you got a situation where you got to believe the Buccaneers they're gonna be better than 7-9 next year. I would expect that. And you would hope that the Atlanta Falcons don't come out the gates at 1-7 and just have too much ground to make up. So we'll see how that goes. And we've seen what the Panthers done. We would expect them not to go on an 8-game losing streak to close their season. So at minimum, the NFC South gets a lot more interesting, and the Buccaneers as a team, they get interesting. Remember, this is a franchise that hasn't seen the playoffs since 2007. It's the second longest drought in the NFL behind the Cleveland Browns. And you mentioned the Browns, and it's not the same exact situation, but the acquisition of Tom Brady, it's going to generate hype. And I just don't want us to we don't need to get all out of character and all up in arms over one dude who is 43, by the way. We got to take this consideration. And we have seen a steady decline here lately from Tom Brady. But with that being said, I understand the weapons are a lot better than what he had in New England. When I look at Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and not only do you have O.J. Howard, you got Cameron Brate. He's another serviceable tight end for you. And the running back situation, if you get Melvin Gordon, that's definitely something that we'd like to see. The offensive line, but the areas of weakness. We talk about the offensive line, your tackles. Donovan Smith, that's not a name that, inspires confidence, at least from my perspective. And then on the other side, you have DeMar Dotson. He's 34, and he's not getting any better. So they gotta solidify the tackle positions. And then you mentioned it on defense. When you're that bad against the pass, you're gonna have to do a little bit better in that regards if you want to be a serious contender. I will say this though, when you slide in Tom Brady versus over Jameis Winston,
30 for 30,
absolutely, you're gonna see that second 30, the interceptions, it's gonna go way down. The Buccaneers last season were minus 13 in turnover differential. They were first in giveaways with 41. And surprisingly, that defense forced the fourth most takeaways. They took the ball away 28 times. So you would think with just having Tom Brady down there, he's going to take care of the ball. When he feels pressure, he's not going to make the big mistake. He's smart in that regards. He's been that way for a long time. So just having that on your team should make a big difference. But one of the concerns I have in this regard is the style of offense Bruce Arians runs. This is a guy who likes to push the ball down the field. They made a lot of big plays last year with your great wide receiver combination that they had. And my problem with that, when you push the ball down the field, that leads to more 5 and 7 step drops. And that leaves you're asking your offensive line to protect a lot longer. And you're not going to get bailed out by a mobile quarterback, as you mentioned. So does Bruce Arians stick with his offense philosophy? Or does he change things up? Because a lot of success the New England Patriots had with Tom Brady is 3 steps and get the ball out. That's what they do. That's what they did up there. So we'll see how Bruce Arians chooses to run his offense. I think it would be smart to make some adjustments and incorporate some shorter route combinations. And that may mean maybe you bring in a third receiver who's excellent in the slot to help you out, sort of a Julian Edelman type guy. But at this stage, I couldn't bet on the Bucs above the New Orleans Saints for this division. When I consider the return of Drew Brees and the combination of him and Sean Payton has been potent for so long, you look at Michael Thomas, he's the best receiver in that division, perhaps in the NFC. And we know how much love we have for Alvin Kamara, and we expect better from him this year. Jared Cook, outstanding, did some great things at the tight end position, helping to open up that passing attack. And then defensively, we were talking about it before the show. This is a team with a stout defense, and they've improved upon it, bringing back Malcolm Jenkins. So at this stage of the game, I think as far as right now as they're currently constructed, and there are still more moves to be made. But at this stage in the game, I think the best the Bucs are going to be able to do is make the playoffs as a wild card team.
Well, I first of all, I'll say Tampa, man. To go out and make a move like this, a few weeks ago, Tampa was not a team expected to do this. They were definitely not a team that we thought, oh yeah, Tom Brady's 100% going to Tampa. They were on the list, definitely weren't the team we thought was going to wind up with him. And to make a move like this, to really just go all out on, hey, we want to win, we're tired of this losing crap, we're tired of bricking every single season, to go out and get a guy like Tom Brady, that's awesome. I mean, it's cool to see a team really try to break the mold. We know his accomplishments, we know his accolades, and if you're even getting a percentage of what he could do with New England here in Tampa with the weapons he has, man, they could get really good really fast. But you guys are right, there are some hurdles. I would generally lean towards kind of what you're talking about, Jay. I think you're right. I think there's a couple teams in the NFC that they should probably sit behind for now, but they got to be good. I mean, you expect playoffs 100%, and I would expect them at least to get through the divisional round or at least to it. Because this is a team that they're quickly patching the holes they have. Two things I'm going to be watching real close, I'll throw in real quick here, is the control that Brady's going to have. I think one storyline that'll be real interesting to see is how much leash is he going to get. The kind of the LeBron effect, the player-coach hybrid guy, we don't really see that in the NFL, but there was ever a time a guy could do that. It's probably going to be Brady. And, Arians isn't just some random doormat of a head coach, so it'd be really interesting to see their relationship, how good it is, and how much, say, Brady has. I mean, you got a team that has a ton of cap space. They've got almost all their draft picks. They've got a lot of room left to make moves. Does Brady get to really have a lot of say in what they do, or is it going to be more just, hey, we'll get it figured out. You just take care of your end. And also, guys, I'm going to float this idea. You're probably going to clown me for it, but y'all know what's coming next, right? Y'all know the Antonio Brown clown show is coming to Tampa.
I was going to say that, baby.
And the reason I say that is because Brady was very vocal about him and how much he liked him, and he was like, oh, you got a raw deal, whatever. If he gets the commissioner's blessing, can you imagine Brown, Evans, and Godwin? That's disgusting. That is a disgusting wide receiver core.
That is. Slot receiver that he mentioned. That would be a slot receiver.
Yeah, Antonio Brown's your slot receiver. Have fun.
And look, that's an interesting point. What I would tell you though, and maybe Brady don't feel this way, but it's pretty easy when you're up there with New England and some of them, less than stellar weaponry that you're dealing with. When Julian Edelman's your number one, and then you got a bunch of guys who who's that guy over there? Oh, Jacoby Myers. Whatever. All right, I guess he'll catch a few balls for me. But when you're that starved for offensive assistance and help at the wide receiver position, I want Antonio Brown. When I'm down here in Tampa with these two young guns and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, I understand. I mean, you can never have too many weapons, but I wouldn't think it'd be much of a priority when I'm looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense, and especially when I'm looking at I don't care how good your wide receivers are. If your tackles are getting beat off the edge every play, it ain't gonna matter. So I would look at that as a much bigger priority than getting another top flight receiver. And oh, by the way, Antonio Brown, really? He gonna be your number 3 receiver? He ain't gonna like that.
Well, you're talking about $30 million Antonio Brown. We're talking about $30,000 Antonio Brown. You gotta understand, this is not the same Antonio Brown that was out here cutting the buck and getting paid, living in the shade, drinking lemonade. You dig? So he coming in. I think he'll be humble. I don't disagree with what you're saying about the tackles. Hey, we talk about Trent Williams. He's still out there. They got a second-round tenure on him. Maybe they can go talk to him, try to get him down there in the sunny weather in Tampa. Come holler at your boy. But I don't disagree with that. But I think the premise on what we've seen out of Antonio Brown, I think is a little bit over-exaggerated to the fact of we're not going to get the same guy. This guy done everything under the sun, probably hit rock bottom, came up and hit rock bottom again. And Tom Brady, I just don't foresee Tom Brady signing off on a player, messing up his brand, avocado lotion and all, by just talking about bringing in Antonio Brown just to come out here and act a donkey fool. Because let me remind you, when he was with the Patriots, he was on his best behavior. When he got mad with the Patriots, he didn't say anything about Tom Brady. He went at the ownership, right? We know how Antonio Brown is. He went at David Carr. He went at Big Ben. He usually attacked his quarterback. But if you actually look at what he did, he never said one bad word about Tom Brady. So it's something now that we're not seeing. There's a connection in some way. He lives in Florida. Go ahead, get him in on a quick $9 million contract. You can still work your offensive line. You still got to get some tackles and guards.
And to your point about Trent Williams and what moves they have left to make, there is no room for conservatism in the Buccaneer organization right now. You brought in Tom Brady. He's 43 years old. At some point, this thing is going to end. This is a short-term move. So you have to throw whatever resources are available to you. You have to make moves quick, fast, in a hurry, because this is a win-now move. So if it takes giving up draft picks to get players right now, they got to do it. And Trent Williams, he would absolutely be a great help.
See, a lot of free agency left to go for him.